Good afternoon, British COVIDians. It's Saturday the 26th of September and it's nearly 2:30. The new measures have been imposed. The pubs are supposed to be closed by 10 o'clock now, and street revellers will be rounded up by the COVID marshals and sent home. The rule of six is, well, it's still the rule of six. And we have been told that if we don't get it sorted, or even if we do get it sorted with the COVID, we will be looking at about 100 deaths a week by next month, around about this time. Be looking at 100 a week, okay? Now, I want to say something, and it's something I think people need to consider. And it's something that is already taking place. And that is, why are the poorest and the most vulnerable not only going to be massively affected by this second wave, not only those who are old people, obviously the killing fields of the care homes will come back, our sick people, people with existing medical conditions like me, but also our poorer people, those maybe now already living on universal credit if they've been lucky enough to get their first payment, those no longer supported on furlough by the government, more likely to be affected, kids in areas of the northeast where we all know full well they're suffering from malnutrition and things like that. Schools have reopened, kids are going back to school, obviously, as the winter's coming on. Many of them won't even have winter coats. We know for certain that many kids will be going back to school hungry, no breakfast. Yeah, how do you learn when you haven't had breakfast? Yeah, you tell me that. But the point that I want to make in today's video is, what's wrong with paying for COVID and obviously paying for the recovery from COVID? What's wrong with charging billionaires, millionaires, trillionaires? What's wrong with making them dip into their very deep and bulging pockets, yeah, and pull out just a little bit more in tax? Tell me, why is that so wrong? Why is it wrong? Do you think it's wrong because, well, it's socialist, isn't it? And I mean, it must be wrong if it's socialist. Is that what you think? Yeah, do you think that's wrong? You think that's wrong because, well, we all know, don't we, that if we tax those billion and trillionaires and those massive offshore corporations and those massive tax dodging elites, if we tax them too much, they'll leave. They'll leave the country. They will go. They will leave. They will take their money with them, and there'll be no more trickle down from all those rich people on the top eating at the laden tables. No more breadcrumbs will be cast. No more gravy rather than dripping down their chin, down their beard, down their tuxedo, into their plate that is heavily laden with all kinds of food, including pheasant, grouse, and all those things that you can go out and shoot in groups of more than 6. That's not the game, that's the shooting party, you see. Now, if we tax them, a little bit more tax, pay for COVID, pay for the NHS, well, they're all going to go away. So we can't tax them. Why not? Why, as always, are we now being told benefits will be frozen? Freeze them. Why are we freezing them? Like we want to freeze our old people who have to choose between heating and eating. Why are we freezing benefits? Is austerity over? No, austerity is not over. Freeze benefits. Yeah, freeze them. So that's how we're going to pay. Yeah, so people will still be, everything would have goes up in price, and everybody on benefits, to which many of us are absolutely legally entitled, for which we've paid tax for, like I have, all my life. Why are we going to pay the most? I'll tell you a story, and I don't really mind if they do hear it or not, okay? We have a next door neighbour. Those of you who know me will know where I live. Her name is, well, we'll just call her X, and she has a partner, and his name is, well, we'll call him Y. Once we met, and I was in the garden, and she was really, well, previous night, X and Y had been incredibly drunk and had come banging on our door, suggesting that I had banged on their wall. I hadn't. But, after just standing still and letting the female partner insult me and swear at me and give me the whole 9 yards, the whole of the cannon, the explosive charge all rolled out, and then boom, the whole 9 yards. One of the things that she came out with, whereas people like you, she said, just scrounge and claim benefits all day. I've never seen you do a day's work. Maybe it is possible to just freeze benefits and not even put them up in line with inflation or anything. Maybe it is possible to do that because everybody believes that, unlike me, who's genuinely entitled to the benefit, who medically could not work, and my wife is seriously mentally ill, maybe people believe that actually they're all scroungers anyway. They all want a free ride. They want a free life. They're only going to spend it on booze and heroin. So let's freeze benefits. Let's do that. That'll pay for the COVID. Why won't you tell, not ask, the billionaire elite class to pay a little bit more out of their big, deep pockets, out of their hedge funds, their investments, their private villas, their second, third and fourth homes, out of the money locked away in their bank vaults, which they probably sit next to and rub for comfort. They could afford to pay a bit more. You won't do it though, will you? You just won't. You won't do it. And you won't do it because you're Tory. That's why you won't do it. That's why your nan, your granddad, people like me who are reaching retirement age are going to have a miserable, hard, terrible old age. That's why we're going to have such a bad time having worked all our lives. Many of us are going to have to work longer. We're going to pay. Those least able to pay are going to pay, so that those most able to pay don't have to pay. That's how these people work. That's the kind of society they want. So think about it. Yeah, when the COVID death toll goes up again, as inevitably it will, when the killing fields return, as inevitably they will, the financial bill for all of this is not being paid by multi-billionaires. Yeah, it's being paid by people who have virtually nothing and are only just above, or in many cases below, the poverty line. That's the nature of the government you have chosen to live in, and that is the nature of the society that you want. You elected them, you want them, and how many of you are now suffering under them? That's me done, but think about it. We always pay. Bye.